And we are live, and here we go. Mr. Brett Gadeen. Hang on, I'll bring it in.
Uh, Holla,
Hey,
holla.
hold on. How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good, Reese.
Ah,
Mr. Fox.
hey, well done on that new single. That's pretty freaking cool single, man.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We were sort of sitting on that one for a while actually, so it was good to finally get it out into the cosmos.
It's,
So
I missed, you did a live video, not that, was it last week, and you were explaining something about it.
yeah, so well, funny enough, with the release, and I might just back up
Yeah, go for it.
prior to, yeah. So it's the actual release of this track was sort of given a few nudges left, right, and centers because we expected to be touring around it.
Mm,
So yeah, so when all this COVID-19 stuff started happening, we had this plan in place for the release, and then everything just went literally imploded. So it was a bit of like our whole campaign, everything just like it was all just shaken up totally. So
yep, you're along
when
with
when we
everyone
ended,
else in the same freaking boat, man.
oh man, so when we released, it was just like, well, what do we do now? Well,
Yeah.
we just throw it up online and then see how we go. So yes, that's pretty much what we ended up doing. We just sort of threw it up, and but we didn't even know that Ketchy, she's been a big supporter of the band,
Yeah.
and
That's catchy from
we
Rich and All.
just
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ketchy from Rich and all, and we sent it to her and a few other presenters at the time, and she didn't even tell us that she was going to premiere it on that Monday, like last Monday
She
night.
did the
So
same thing to us in Barefoot, man. Like she actually said that she was gonna do the premiere, but it was gonna be like a week later, and
yeah.
then I tuned in. I'm like, oh crap, we're getting played right now. It didn't give us any even chance, but man, it's good that she supports like and jumps on the ball just like that with roots artists in Australia, particularly. So yeah, that was good call on her account, man. So
Oh man, she's been awesome, eh? And ever since she sort of jumped on, Sarah was good on Roots and all as well.
yeah,
Ketchy's been a little bit. I think she's been a bit more of a supporter of the sort of well in our world like the live electronica stuff.
yeah,
That's
I've
for sure.
noticed
Like
that.
she's into the more dubby and,
Mm.
and, and drummer bass and that sort of stuff. So
Yeah, she gave
uh,
Dub Princess a spin just recently too, didn't she? Didn't Dub Princess?
yeah, and dub
Yeah,
effects. Like I don't think dub effects ever got played on the J's until Ketchy was on there. So.
sick.
So that was pretty cool. I mean, Sarah's great as well. Like, and she supported a lot of local artists as well. But yeah, it's been good. So Ketchy ended up giving us a spin, and she put us on pretty much prime time. She put us on like second, which was great. And I would just happen to have the show on. I didn't even know, and then boom, it's like, oh,
Straight
hey,
up.
that's us, sweet. Yeah. So we pretty much wrote the track about breath work,
Okay.
and its original name was called The Rebirth.
Alright.
And basically the lyricism about rebirthing is so just to give people an insight of what rebirthing is. It's basically it's breath work. It's like using your breath like a pump, and you it helps sort of release tension and anxiety and all this stuff that trauma that attaches to your cells in your body that you just walk around with your whole life. And they call it rebirthing because if you get to like a certain few rebirthing sessions or whatever, like this breath work, it grabs the trauma of your birth.
Mm.
So most of us have had a traumatic experience in our births, or like like we've come out like it's just you're in this womb. You got to think about you're in this beautiful, like your mother's womb, and you're all like cozy, and you got your little umbilical cord, and everything's all, and then all of a sudden you're just popping out, and there's this white bright lights and doctors
Births
and
are pretty
just
violent, man. Like, I mean, I've
yeah,
I've witnessed three, so and
it's
they are pretty intense. So yeah, okay, I see where you're going with that now. So
yeah, so that was the whole thing with the rebirth, as in breath work. So we done a few rebirthing sessions and breath works, and I was fortunate enough on one of them to hit what they call a bliss point, where is basically you're breathing away, and you're going through all the crazy stuff like tetany and emotion and like this just massive traumatic releases, and then all of a sudden you just sort of like it's like a natural DMT experience. Basically, you're through prana and through breath, your brain it activates the DMT in your brain, and you pop into this like dimension, and it literally feels like heaven. It's like there's no time awareness of time. There's no awareness of who you are. It's just I can't even explain it. It's like if we, like wherever we go when we leave this body, if that's where we go, then that would be like, I guess, like the form of getting to heaven or basically it felt like heaven. So that was what created the hook of the track. And then the lyrics, like my rapping lyrics in the verses is pretty much sort of the, how we get there. So yeah.
Jesus, shit got deep real quick. Way to go. Take that a 10 real quick.
Yeah, funny enough, I threw that because originally I tried to get Carl Walkner to feature on the track.
Right.
And he came over for a barbecue one time, and then a vegan barbecue, by the way. And I should say plant-based.
Yeah.
And
we're throwing another tofu on the barbie, man.
Yeah. We don't eat tofu.
No, you don't need that.
There's
stuff.
so much other stuff you can do. Anyway, and I tried it. I said, "Oh man, I got this track. Hey, you should come and have a listen." And then I went and we sat down and he played him the track. He's like, "Oh, this is sick, man!" And he sort of started grooving away and he started singing. And he's like, "Oh, I better know, what are you singing about?" And I told him exactly like that explanation. And he just went, "Oh shit!" He's just like, "Oh, okay." But then anyway, I don't know, we got distracted or something. I think one of the little girls out like falling asleep and we couldn't get him to record. So just the time passed and we missed out on him featuring on the track.
That would have been pretty cool though. Like particularly, you reckon you would have put sort of Walkner's sort of like guitar style on that too?
Nah, we would have kept
the vocal
in our style.
Yeah.
We're still working on something. We've been having a chat about doing something together. We just don't know what, because he's very in the pop world, obviously, that pop country world, and
the whole Fringe thing that he did.
And I dig his music, but it's very far left of center compared. We're far left of center compared to what he's doing. So.
Oh yeah,
but we'll cross it there someday.
Collaboration, man, I love it.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. So how you guys have been adopting a lot of things outside the spectrum, I guess, well, you're basically full-time musicians, so to survive, particularly in this current situation. So like, you started doing all the prana sessions, and like I went to one of your sound healing things, which was like you didn't expect me to do that, did you?
No. Definitely not. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it's so good to have you there.
Still spun me out, and I will do another one. So yeah, but
awesome.
So how are you adapting now?
Oh man, I guess like every other musician, we lost pretty much all our income overnight.
Yeah,
and we happen to be like the way we can do this full time is we have a lot of different branches. Obviously we've got the Dubarray thing, we've got the prana things, we've got the sound immersion things, but then we've got the covers stuff as well. We do a lot of corporate, we do weddings, and then we've got like corporate contracts like Heron Island and a few other things here and there. And we just happened to be on Heron Island, funny enough, when it all went down, and we still had another week of work there, funny enough, when like overnight it all happened and all the venues everywhere in Australia pretty much shut down. And we just felt a little bit uncomfortable about performing up there, because there's they were still having lots of people, like travelers coming in and out, like people on holiday.
Yeah.
There was still like 120 guests on the island or whatever, and 30 would leave or 50 would come or 50 would leave, and it was just constant. And we just started realizing it was just maybe getting a little bit too sketchy up there. I mean, they were practicing, they were doing all the right things of But when you're on an island, there's only so much you can do, really, like to,
And when you go into
stay away.
isolation, man, that's just insane. Particularly in
Yeah.
you get cabin fever real quick. I mean, everyone's getting cabin fever now, and
Well,
being
oh
on an
man,
island, phew,
and when a flu spreads on an island,
yeah,
it
it goes
just goes.
quick. Yep.
Yeah. So we started getting this thought like, man, if this thing ends up on the island, we're going to get like fully contained on the island for
Mm.
how long, who knows how long. So we just went, look, we just said to the GM, look, we got to go tomorrow. And he was cool. He was really cool about it. He was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the place anyway. So
Mm.
anyway, we left. And then I think that afternoon we left, they ended up shutting the island down. So it was like, it sort of worked out good.
Yeah, I know because of my other job that I do. We have some stock up on Hamilton Island, and that went into haywire and crisis mode pretty quick. We had to get our stock back pretty quick, so that was pretty intense.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man, we got it back just in time, but yeah, that was yeah, crazy times, man.
Oh,
Very crazy.
that's full on. It's hectic, man. It's funny, eh? Because everyone's trying to piece together what's going on, behind the scenes. Like, there's the one thing that the media is just portraying about the virus, and it's just out of control. But then there's always. I mean, we've been fighting a battle. We've been fighting a battle against the powers that be for a long time now. And this is it's a very strategic move in their part. But no one has the answers of what's going on.
No,
We just gotta, use the time wisely.
are you feeling in a sense like going along with that, using the time wisely and the powers that be in that musicians in general, well, particularly in the free world, as we would say, we tend to have the ability to protest through our medium, and particularly in the live spectrum where you feel that energy coming through, and you can change people's lives just by certain lyrics and certain ways you portray that in the song. And does it feel like we're kind of being muted at the moment,
Oh,
in a sense? Like it
totally.
yeah, I
Like,
mean, we're all getting itchy because we're all wanting just to go out there and not just play live, but have that feedback. But yeah, I would say particularly with those with more sort of conscious kind of lyrics and that I would find it be almost dangerous in a sense. Something's going to explode. Like I think something's going to build up with these types of artists, and yeah, I'm keen to see what that's going to be.
yeah, well, like, there's a lot of, the artistic and creative world is very tapped in, to on an energetic level, to you know what's going on, and a lot of it, like, there's the people that are really, asking questions, and exploring, not being taken. Look, how should I put this? Basically, they're, not getting spoon fed what the media is trying to just put in our face, and just constantly, which right now is fear. It's just fear. Like,
Constantly, isn't it?
you turn them, everything you turn on, like, man, I mean, even Triple J today, like, I flicked on the J's for like however long, and everything was just about coronavirus, everything, like in the news. And it was just, I've seen my family, my friends, like, everyone's just getting engulfed in this, like, fear-mongered thing. And I think that's, obviously that's exactly what they want us to do. And the music is a big way for people to release anxiety and release that, like, let go of those things that weigh us down. Like, you go to a concert, and that's that feeling you get. Music hits you. As Bob Marley says, you feel no pain, and that's been suppressed straight away. Like, that got knocked on the head straight up with this thing, and like it. And there's it's obviously it is a bit, it could be scary when you look at what could be going on behind the scenes. But I think if there's any time right now, like, to be just vigilant and stay on your toes, in the sense of like, when I say that, obviously you're not running around, bloody, going hugging people and not social distancing.
1.5 meters apart, people.
Yeah, but like, just using the time to reconnect with ourselves, and don't stay locked up at home. Make sure you're getting your exercise. Make sure you're not being totally engulfed on devices and on Wi-Fi, and just because that's exactly what they want. They just want you just constantly here,
Does it feel like a test?
Yeah, I guess it does a bit, eh?
Like seeing if how much control they can actually exert over someone. Sorry for going down the rabbit hole. I'm just trying to
Oh,
actually avoid
mate,
doing
don't
it.
worry about it. Don't apologize for the rabbit hole. I love the rabbit hole.
Keep digging, keep digging.
Digging in there all the time.
What I have found is that a lot of people, some musicians they are struggling because they don't have that outlet. They don't know how to use that other medium. They don't have the know-how behind like creating a home studio or anything like that, which is, to be honest with you, it's not that hard to do.
Yeah.
Like shit, I taught myself how to do things. It's really not that hard to do. But
man, and you're killing it, man.
I'm trying to.
It's awesome.
But I think a lot of musicians are actually finding different parts of themselves now. If that makes sense. I mean, an example, like say with like in Barefoot's case, right? So because we can't get together and do our thing, right? And our albums, pretty much sort of, our album's supposed to come out this year. Spoiler alert, but yeah, we can't do anything further with that.
It's about damn time.
Done. Yeah, about damn time. So you have myself and say like what Roey's doing, because Roey's gone to his own spectrum with his Zero Theory stuff, and he's got his own album coming soon, and he's enjoying going to the EDM sort of side and the side trance and whatnot. And you got me going back to sort of my heavier roots, and I'm finding, and particularly in the producing, it's bringing out all this other skill sets that I didn't know actually were there, and it's pretty amazing what you can tap into when you're kind of forced to do it because of other outside factors.
Oh man, that's exactly right. And the other day, I was literally having a conversation with Tiki Tane about how we can, set up the live jam streaming.
Yep.
Like with low latency. So we've been sort of going down that exploration, and it's amazing what you can do. It really is. Like, we've actually been really loving it. Like because we had Bubs, and then we'd done a couple of tours, and those tours were just hard work, man, with the baby. They were hard. And so we've actually been really enjoying just being able to set up at home and do our thing, but still get out to the outside world. But that's just us. I've got a lot of friends, like you said, that are struggling a little bit, but I got a lot of musicians that are also, I think the ones that are struggling are the ones that just haven't. They're so used to just being on the go, that they don't know how to just pull back and get creative. And a lot of my friends that are cover musicians are like that. They're like, oh, what do we do now? Like,
write your own damn songs.
Yeah, write an original. I'm just out there going, write an original song, man. Write an original song. Come on.
Yeah. I reckon we're gonna see some weird shit come out of this. I really do, like some good weird shit. Like I said it in a post on The Point like 2 weeks ago, where this is going to be the start of a new renaissance in terms of like not just music but art as well. The stuff that when artists are forced into isolation like this, and we're kind of boxed in, we have to do something to push past that. So we're going to see some weird shit. Like in a good way. I mean, I think we kind of needed that. I mean, I said this to Cherie, my wife. As much as I hate being forced to slow down, I think a lot of us really needed that to happen.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us are living in sort of a high anxiety sort of on the edge kind of thing, trying to keep up. We're constantly, particularly in the music industry, we're constantly trying to keep ahead of the next person because we're forced to. I mean, this is how this industry has evolved. It's just a quick turnout. You don't have this sort of slow build up sort of thing. You got to try and beat the next person now. You got to get more followers. You got to get the more likes. You got to get the more streams, and it's so hard to keep up with it, particularly when you have machines behind it sort of pushing it, in the sense of like the industry itself, not the artist, but the industry sort of favoring certain sort of genres or certain artists or certain sort of scenes or anything like that coming through. It's really hard to keep up with that, and it's when you're artists that are on the sort of the fringe, or you're playing in sort of music like yourselves in the electro dub sort of stuff, or like playing reggae and that, which is not a widely regarded sort of like a top charting sort of genre unless you're Bob Marley or something. It's I think it's going to cause a reset, and it's going to cause a lot of us to rethink our approach to how music is released and how music is put out there, and how touring aspect will work.
Yeah.
Even I think venues will have to adopt something. I think venues will change. I think there's going to be sort of strange attitude towards even behind the bar. There's going to be new regulations come in. You watch.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see what comes out of this, obviously. But well, like you said, I think everyone being forced to slow down. We're constantly living in a fight or flight, constantly, and it's not good for our nervous systems to be like that all the time.
Shit, no, man. It's
not. And it was like the other, when it first went down. So many people. I've talked this about a few people, and everyone was like, felt fear at first, like, oh, what am I going to do? Income, this, that, and then I took a big deep breath, let it go, and then went, oh, hang on, I've got all this bloody time on my hands.
And you paid attention to the butterflies.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So there's some beautiful things that are going to come out of this.
Yeah. So
it already is. It already is. We did a festival on the weekend, the Earth Spirit Online Festival.
I did catch some of that. Some of it, like I came in early, and it was a little bit too in touch with everything for my liking. I sort of like, okay, so I'm just gonna put that sort of like, I'll have that running, and I know when to tune back in. But I actually like the whole idea behind it and the coming togetherness of it. I just wish a sort of other genres could actually sort of come together and do that too, but sometimes there's just too much ego involved, maybe. But well done to the it was Earth Spirit, wasn't it? Earth Spirit Festival.
So that was run by the New Zealand Spirit Festival. Frankie and the guys from that, and they had like Tikitane on early, and they had Elijah Ray and Dustin Thomas and a couple other who else played? Mike Love. And they were all sort of on earlier in the day. It was really interesting setup because like they came in with Tiki at in the morning.
Yeah, I found that a bit odd. Hey, like having
he brought in
this
this
Tiki, man.
Huge dubby dash trance way out there. So it was. I loved it. That's my flavor. But it was pretty full on way to start the day. But but it was really cool. Like some of the talks, the conservation talks, and then they had some workshops and that sort of stuff. And I think it started losing a few people towards the end, just because they had a lot of stuff going on that was pretty left to center. But it was just a really good collaboration, and just to pull it all together within a week or whatever they did, it was really awesome.
If they chose to do something like that again, one thing I probably would recommend. Have you ever watched the Coachella live stream, where they have they actually have 3 or 4 channels? So they have the live stream going, but they have like the stages. They actually have 3 or 4 channels to choose from, so you can they actually have a timetable lined out. It's brilliant how the way they do it.
Wow.
And if Spirit Festival organizers, if you're paying attention, if you're going to do it again, do separate channels then, because that way people can pick and choose what they want to go and watch. You know, that you could be having like a full electro dub sort of, or like drum and bass sort of sets on one stage or something like that, doing all their live streams on that one. Then you have sort of like the talks on another one. Then you can have sort of more like rootsy sort of stuff on another one. People can pick and choose, and I reckon it'd be a way better interactivity anyway.
Well, maybe we've got a bit of time on here. Maybe the point can do a Sunny Coast.
Shit.
You're connected, bro. You could do it. You could pull it all together.
Yeah, no. It's not like I've got enough things on my thing. I'm supposed to be writing a book at the moment too.
Oh, look out.
Mm.
Well, actually, there is a Sunny Coast sort of event going on this weekend, called the Tribe Gathering.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Rabia's put that together.
Yeah, yep. So that's gonna be interesting. That should be a pretty cool event too.
Yeah, are you guys doing? On that one?
Yeah. We're not doing like what we did with the band thing on the Earth Spirit, but yeah, we're just doing. Katie and I are going to do like a bit more of a chilled out because we're doing like a 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning or something like that.
Yeah, because I know Dale slash Mufasa's doing one.
Yeah,
I did remember. Phil Barlow's doing chats or something.
Yep.
There was I did remember. I can't remember off the top of my head like how many artists on there, but
yeah, it goes for 4 days.
Yeah. It's the whole
and
Easter weekend basically.
Yeah. We're doing the Easter Sunday morning.
Oh, so you have
vibe.
Vegan chocolate eggs beforehand, and then do that.
Oh mate, vegan chocolate is bloody awesome.
Not knocking it.
Oh, I'm actually into my carob at the moment. I'm loving
carob. Dude. Oh. No,
I never used to like carob, and then all of a sudden, something just shifted about a year ago, and I'm just like, loving it.
Yeah, you got rid of all the curds and whey in your head.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, no, you can't catch me doing the carob train, man. No. Nope. But I'm glad you found it. One less chocolate to worry about. So,
no, I'm still on my chocolate. Don't remember that.
So going back to the whole music thing, like, are you guys working on a new album?
We've been working on a lot of things. We've been working on a few different types of albums actually.
Oh, okay.
We've been recently because I've just been writing. We've been writing different beats and different things here and there. So next thing that we're going to try and release is a bit more of a back into the downtime stuff, like the sort of Sound of Prana.
Sound of Prana, I was going to say.
Yeah, and then with the sound immersion stuff that we've been doing, we're going to release some. We've been sort of writing some tracks around some of the jams that we've been doing, because some of those sessions we've been like recording them, and then just so we can get ideas of how, because all those sessions are improv. We don't know what we're doing when we go into them. We barely even have a chat, and then it was just like we just sort of channel whatever's coming in, and then.
But it wouldn't be that hard to record a live jam like that, though, would it?
I fully multi-track it.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's all multi-track. So I've got it all there, and it's all ready to go. I won't use those recordings to mix and release, but at least that the essence is there.
You got the bed for it, and you can build it up from there, right?
Yeah, and then we can just sort of build off that. So we're going to be doing that, and then we've got all the band stuff as well. We've already got about 2 or 3 band tracks that have like drums have been done for, and a couple other things here and there. One of the songs is like completely different to everything that we've ever released. It's a bit more like a going down that Portishead sort of style.
Yep, cool.
Like real. It was a song that was written about 4 years ago, and we've had it sitting there. We wrote it in WA. Funny enough, we're at a studio over there, and we're actually staying at the studio for a week. And at night, the guy that owned the studio, he was just an absolute legend. His name's Swami, and he would just sort of go, all right, let's get in the studio and just jam, and he just pressed record. And one night we were literally making dinner when this song came, and I can't remember, someone started a little riff or something, and all of a sudden this song came out of it, and we took it away and we went, man, that's a really, 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 really cool song. So we wrote. Katie scattered the lyrics that night, and then I don't know, that later, about a year later, she actually wrote the lyrics. Like, so she scattered the melody,
Mm.
we kept the melody, and then she wrote the lyrics over it. So yeah, that's we're looking forward to that one. I'm telling you about a song that's not even released yet, so I'm excited about it.
So good. I got a whole album pushed away for Mules yet, man, and yeah, people have only heard like a tiny little portion of it.
Oh,
Oh,
I just find it's one of the funniest things of being a musician. Like when you come up with this track and you know people are going to vibe on it, and but you know that they're not even going to hear it for like
yeah.
however long. You
And
know,
then something
like
else comes along and you've already written something else, and you go, "Oh, this song here is going to be it." But no, I've got these songs I've been working on for the last year that are recorded, ready to go, that no one else has heard yet.
oh, and then by the time you release the song, you're
Yeah,
over it.
yeah,
You just
yeah.
you just get
If I
to
don't have to listen
like
to the two tracks I've been mixing of late, if I don't have to listen to those again for a while, I think I'll be quite all right with that.
yeah, well, that was like feels like heaven.
Mm,
I was just grooving away to that that beat for ages, just going, oh, I can't wait for people to hear this. And then everything got distracted with the whole bloody Corona thing. It was
yeah,
just like, oh, that song, oh, there it is, world. I hope you hear it.
yeah.
But it's getting out there, so that's good.
Good.
Yeah,
I mean, what can you do in this sort of situation, really? I mean, I actually do think you're going to see more songs released now than because people, particularly artists, because they're not out there playing
yeah,
and getting out there in front of audiences, that sort of going, oh shit, we're going to lose our audience. What do we do? Oh, quick, release this song.
yeah,
I think you're going to see a
exactly.
lot of that. So there might be some weird B-sides that weren't actually ever meant to be released that I reckon you'll probably see coming out.
Oh, it's going to be cool, man. It's already cool just seeing how much stuff's going on. We've got a ton, absolute like it's like we were preparing for Armageddon or something. We've got like we could sit in isolation for a year and just keep releasing stuff every couple of weeks and it'll be sweet.
Make that a plan. Do it
Yeah,
now.
totally.
Because
Maybe that.
your process, you mix your own stuff too, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. No, I do a lot of the mixing.
Do you
I
get?
record the drums. I usually record the drums in a decent studio environment,
Hmm.
but most of the electronics and everything else, I got a good enough setup at home that I can. We used to do the vocals as well at a studio at the Vault or wherever we were recording, and but now I've got a decent enough setup at home that we've got a good pulling a good sound here now, so I pretty much can mix most of it here, and then if I'm sort of getting a little bit like a track, I'm feeling like it's getting away from me, and I need another set of ears, I
Mm.
might send it off to someone for a stems mix.
Yep.
I've got a couple of guys, actually, Tikitani put me on to a guy, Chris Chetland, his name is, over in New Zealand, and he's done like he's done
Shapeshifter?
shapeshift, yeah, shapeshifter, and um, oh, Cornerstone Roots and a bunch of all the NZ artists. I
Yeah,
think he's
yeah.
mixed the Fat Freddy's track and that too. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, he's a dude, and he's got a really good ear, and he runs a lot of analog stuff. So he's got some cool stuff. So we for the Conscious Soldier single, felt that one was getting a little out of just out of hand for me. Like I felt like
Yep.
him, and he did a stems mix. Yeah, came back pretty fat. So
Sick. Yeah, I
yeah,
find I get a bit of ear fatigue. I think would be the best way to do it. I mean, like you heard, I played. You were one of the first people to play. I played the Mules mix too for Deeper when Vinny had mixed that.
yeah,
And like
which is epic.
yeah, so that would be my choice again. Would be going back to Vinny just to get another Mules track done. But I have to put some. I have to put some more faith into what my ears are picking up and what I'm learning along the way as well. I think it's the whole self-criticizing bull crap that we all go through. Is it going to be good enough? Is it going to be good enough? You know you've done all the right things, all the levels, and you know everything's sounding right, but you just doubt yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that I used to get that a lot, and then I started just making sure that I took time.
Mm.
I didn't put myself on like every time I put myself on a deadline that I'm going to be like, I have to get this song finished here and I have to get it out here, that's when it all goes to shit.
Yeah, you put
And
pressure on yourself like that.
yeah, you don't even get that song to a date that you're going to release until you're pretty much ready. That mix down is like almost done. And then you can sit on it for a bit too, like sit on it for a week or two, and then let your ears have a rest, and then come back and then visit it with fresh ears. And then if it's still vibing, then you go, okay, cool, we're on the right track.
So,
but if it's not, then
how do you know do you have a particular moment when you know when to stop?
when I feel like that I've just got it to the best of my ability at the time. There's actually a Dubarray track there's a couple of Dubarray tracks that haven't made it out there, that got to that point, and we never released them. Actually, one of them is called Fight or Flight, and I've been thinking about, because I was trying to get a special guest on that as well, and I wrote it for a special. We wrote that freaking years ago, and it was pretty much, it's all mixed. It's all literally ready to go. It's a drum and bass track, and it just, I don't know, for some reason just totally lost. Just, I was vibing on it, and then all of a sudden it just lost it. I think I went for a guy. I was hitting somebody up to guest star on it, and it just, I think something happened. They got too busy, and it just sort of fell by the wayside. But yeah, it's funny because, stuff like that, you go, oh, maybe I should, revisit that now and see where we're at. And if you're not vibing on it, then rip it apart. Just pull out the thing, grab the stuff that you're really happy with, and just scrap everything else and go, okay, where are we at now? And sometimes, like, that can be the best thing. I remember one of the tracks that we did for the Inner Sanctum CD, Catching My Breath, was, I literally rebuilt that song 4 times. It was just the most painful song ever in my mixing history. And Kate was a big part of that. She kept coming back and going, it's not right. It's not right. And I'm like, no, it's not right. Why you keep saying that? I just want to get it out there.
Yeah, extra force of driving, man.
Yeah, well, that's it. I'm glad she did, because it wasn't right. And what was wrong about it was, we were trying to go for this live drum sound, and the live drum sound was making it sound way too rocky, and ended up just totally stripping it back. We just had too much in there, and we stripped everything back. And I mean, it's still got a lot of elements going on in it, but we stripped it back and made it a bit more of a simple electronic beat, even though it's not real simple. And all of a sudden it just gave it this new life, and they're like, oh, that's where it was at. Like, it took us all this time. Like, we rebuilt it, and then boom. It was like the most simplest thing we could have done worked. Yeah.
Sometimes simpler is better, huh?
That's it. Oh, probably a majority of the time.
Yeah. No, I've found that where I've tried to overcomplicate things too far, and I'm just going, yep, no, got to pull all that back. Yeah, that works better. Bang.
Yeah.
Frustrating, but good.
Are you finding with mixing drums for mules, is that always the hardest part?
Yeah, easily. Yeah. Getting the bass and the guitar in phase and that sort of stuff is no problem with me, because I record those two at the same time anyway, and then I just add things in, filling in. I'll let Nath do his stuff. I actually do I do drums last with all our tracks. Yeah. Just so that Nick has like a more of a live vibe to sort of go on. So any of the recording process we do, I actually build a drum track up as best to my ability as to replicate basically what Nick does.
Yep.
And then I'll build the layers up from there. Like you said in that conversation, we had building blocks. So I'll find bits and pieces that are, we sound really cool, a little bit of synth in there. Like in one of the cases there, I built a whole horn section up, and I went, oh fuck, I should just get Sully in to do it. And luckily enough, he said yes, and he did it, and I built some stuff underneath it. And in the rare case there, it was more to that, was actually better, because that horn line was actually replicating a vocal line that I do live. So one, I don't have to do that vocal line now. I can actually sort of tap out on that one and let the horn section actually fill in for that. But yeah, definitely with getting Nick in and once his part's done, editing the drum bit, holy crap, I have to spend days on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And making sure everything's on, and particularly like the last sessions we recorded with 2 extra mics. than what we normally do. So there's 2 extra tracks there that I have to be wary of. If there's any discrepancies in those, I've got to listen hard.
Are they room mics?
Yep. One on either end. So you got your overhead left and right, and then you got the room.
Which I guess for a rock track is pretty important, having those room mics.
It gives it a lot more color.
But it can also, you just got to watch out for the phasing issues and all that sort of stuff.
That's one thing I noticed, particularly with tom fills or cymbal splashing, sort of like, I've noticed that. I've never mucked around with drum replacement much before, but I have started doing that now, and I actually
as in triggers or
well, just adding, like quantizing and then adding, looking at the kick drum and looking at the one of the snares and doing a drum replacement, but not to replace the actual bit, just to add it. So I'll have it underneath and I'll mix it in. Just adds a bit more sort of oomph, I guess, is the only way to really, lack of a better word.
Oh man, definitely. You definitely got to have your triggers. Like that's like a must. Like in recording, I feel like. I mean, depending on what type, like if you're going for what you guys are doing, like with big drums and what we're doing, like triggers is the way, because it's sort of like you said, it gives it that it just pushes more air out of the speaker than what's just going to come in the microphone, like, you know, like, and that's not to take away from the live drum sound.
Yeah, it just
like
adds to it.
Yeah, you just you know, you set your trigger up so it's kicking at the same time as your kick or your snare, and then and you watch it just come to life. All of a sudden, it's just like punching you in the face and the chest.
And then you got to learn how to freaking compress all that. Compression's doing my head in, but I'm learning. Dude, we've been at this for 40 minutes, man.
There you go. We can easily have a banter for 3 or 4 hours. That's
done.
What we do.
Hey, thanks for doing this. You're my first guest on the Point Podcast. For those that are watching this, you can I'll put the link down to Feels Like Heaven in the comments below. I'll do that, and link to your Facey and all that sort of stuff.
Awesome.
Big thanks, man. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Ladies,
it's been an absolute honor.
We'll have to do it again.
Love to.
Yeah, and I'll have to get that track finished to send to you to do some vocals at the top. I've been lazy about that. I've been busy with other stuff.
Yeah. Well, I got plenty of time now, man. So.
All right, man.
I'm just sitting here waiting.
Thanks for that. Cheers.
All right. Big love, bro.
Cheers, man.
See ya.
Bye.
See you guys.